Hello, everyone. It's Janelle Stewart from Parents Making an Investment. And today we're going to talk about another way to invest in our child or our children. And it's by taking advantage of the ways to prevent or avoid bedwetters. And especially with it being a long weekend, a long Labor Day weekend that we just came out of, sometimes we'll see these signs and symptoms in our children where they'll wake up with their bed wet. And there's a lot of different reasons, because sometimes we're like, well, why is my child, still having accidents? And bedwetting can actually go on, believe it or not, to about 7 or 8, if to be honest with you. And so I even remember as a child having like a bedtime accident at the age of 7. And so bedwetting happens for various reasons. Sometimes it could be stress. Sometimes it could be anxiety. Sometimes it could be insufficient amount of rest. And so in order sometimes to figure out or even understand why my child is having bedwetting issues, it's also to pinpoint where is this coming from and find out the underlying reason to why our children are wetting the bed. And like I said, sometimes it's just as simple as they need a set bedtime. We need to create structure as far as bedtime routine goes. And so, yes, when we're out with our family and we're staying out late, that can be in a result where if our children who need sufficient amount of rest, and when they don't get it, over a period of time, we see where they start having accidents in their bed. And it's because they're so overtired that they cannot wake up and their body cannot get up and say, I need to go to the bathroom. And like myself, you're actually in a dream, in your sleep, thinking that you are getting up off your bed, you're walking to the bathroom, and you're sitting on the toilet, and lo and behold, you're not on the toilet, you're still in your bed, and next you know, you feel the wetness. I remember going through that as a child. And so our children might still be going through this because of insufficient amount of rest. My son goes through this, and this is why we had to actually create and know that he needs at least 12 hours of sleep. And it doesn't matter what's going on around him, whether it's a family event, whether it's late nights, from being outside and just wanting to take advantage of the sun going down late and the summer activities and fun and festivities. But in the back of my mind as a parent, I have to remember that all these late nights will eventually have an effect on my son. And so therefore, there are things that I have to do. And it's either to say, well, we can't be at everything. We can't show up for everything, or we can do this for a little bit and then we need to go home, because you want to be consistent with the bedtime routine. And it's not because, oh, well, it's summertime and why do we still have them on, a schedule? No, it's because you know the outcome. It's because the outcome can eventually become where he or she ends up wetting the bed because they're so overtired, and then therefore they can't get up from a deep sleep to consciously make that decision to get up and still act in body awareness and to feel that I need to go potty, and so let me go to the bathroom. They will go, but it won't be on the toilet. And so today, this is why I'm sharing, we have to know the pointers. It can also be stress. And whatever your child is stressed out about, whatever their worries are, and we might think it's a little thing, it's not that big of a deal. These are pointers too, and signs too where bedwetting can occur, and it's because of the stress and what they're dealing with, the worry, and them being worried about even friends, being worried about if, my friend is going to be my friend, if that friend is going to be playing with someone else today, because there's a certain age, and it usually start about for kindergarten to first grade, our children latch on to usually one friend, and they want that friendship to be so consistent. And so they feel like if that friend goes and choose to play with someone else, that they lost that friend or they're losing that friendship. And this is the time where we come in and just keep coaxing and try not to wait, parents, till they're actually in the situation. But I'm recommending for you and for us all to talk to our children before these things can happen. And I think when we are proactive, we are making better and taking advantage more of investing in our children in various ways. And if we're proactive, even in being conversational with our children and talk about friendships and how friendships will become important. Your child might not even be in kindergarten as yet or first grade, but talk about friendships. And then also the next thing that I always say to my children, you have room in your heart. And pinpoint it back to how they love mommy, how they love daddy, or how they love grandma and how they love you. Because mommy and daddy might not be together. You might be a single parent, but even the other supporting adults in your life, and how your child have room in their heart to share that space with you and with their siblings and with that other supporting adult, or, your spouse or significant other. Pinpoint it to that and say to them, just like you have room in your heart, you will need to find room in your heart for new friends. And it's okay. You will have more than one friend. You might have one friend, you might have two friends, but you have room in your heart to be able to play with one friend today, play with another friend tomorrow. And even if you choose to play with another friend another day, does not mean that you cannot still be friends with that other individual. And I think it's important to approach this like this, because sometimes some kids get in that battle and some other children and classmates and peers will let them feel like they cannot play with anybody else. And so then they're tied between a rock and a hard place when it comes to friendship, because they feel like they want to play with this other friend, but if I don't play with my other friend, then my other friend's going to get mad. And then they get stressed out about this friendship thing. And believe it or not, then it results into bedwetting. So yes, that's where I'm going with that. All of these things that happen in our children's lives can come out in a sign of wetting the bed. And we're thinking it's something else. We're thinking that they don't have any bladder control. We're thinking that we need to, put them in a pull-up or what have you, until they get... It could be other things that are underlining that we're not pinpointing to, connecting to bedwetting. And so rule out these other things that might be going on in our children's lives, whether it's friendship, whether it's them worried about their homework assignments, whether it could be our relationship. They could be stressed out about what is going on with mom. Believe it or not, if we talk out loud and we talk about our concerns and we talk about our issues in front of our children, it can become their issue. And they could be worried about it. They could be concerned of, mommy is not happy. How can I make mommy happy? So now they have made it their problem and their issue, and they're trying to find a way to make mommy or daddy happy or grandma happy. And so then that brings on stress. And the underlining result that we see from that stress is the bedwetting. So just giving you some ideas and some scenarios that can lead to bedwetting. There are other things too, but for parents, keep our eyes open. Our eyes open, our ears open, our hearts, most importantly, our hearts open, so we can hear from our heart what our children are saying to us. They might not even say it verbally, but they could be saying it internally, emotionally. And if we keep our hearts in tune with them, we'll hear it. We'll hear what is the underlying issue here. and what is causing my child or my children to continue wetting the bed or having these here and there accidents. And so when you start that checklist and checking off what's going on at school, what's going on at home, what's going on with me as an individual, as a parent, as a supporting adult, as a grandmother, what is going on? What have I exposed my kids to? What is going on the TV? What are they watching that's causing them to have these things going on and wetting the bed? It could be something that they're watching that has now instilled the fear and kind of brought fear on them that they're afraid to get up at night. Believe it or not, a child could be actually even afraid to get up at night to the point where they choose to wet their bed. And it's not to say that we punish them for this, but fear is a crippling thing. It's a big thing. And we might not be fearful in that way. We might not be afraid of the dark. But just something as simple as that, as being afraid of the dark, will cause and cripple our children to compromise the consequences of wetting bed. And then they do it in their bed because they don't want to get up, because they're afraid to get up, because it could be something that they watched on the TV the night before. So once again, I'm saying to you that if your child is going through the stage of bedwetting, or if you want to prevent them from getting to that place, make sure that if you find that your child needs a lot of rest, let them get sufficient amount of rest. Cut back, only spend a certain amount of time at those activities, those family engagement and celebrating these holidays. It's not about the amount of time you spend sometimes too, parents. It's also about what you do in the time that you have. And so it's about quality so much as it is about quantity. And so I just want to come on here to remind us all today, that's a way that we can invest today and talk about that room in their heart for friends, and talk about also how it's important for them to get a full night rest. And these are things of being proactive. And when we are proactive and plant those seeds, we will get the outcome that we want, and that is to prevent them from becoming bedwetters. So if you have any question, you can you can find that my information at parentsmakinginvestment.com in my bio, or also I'm on YouTube, and you can reach out to me if you have further questions about this topic today. And I hope that's helpful for you. And also come on here and share your story. If you did have a bedwetter, or how you prevented your child from becoming a bedwetter, please share it. That might help so many other parents and supporting adults that are trying and wanting to make an investment in the lives of their child today. Thank you.